What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Holy shit! And for today's WWE news video, there is a lot to talk about that can definitely change the complexion of the summer of WWE's summer 2022 format, so to speak. But possibly not for the better, actually, including the latest on WWE considering a fourth member of Judgment Day. Wonder who that could be. Drew McIntyre wants to bring back a very unique championship that only lasted until 2002 in the night from 97, I want to say, to 2002. WWE announcing that Charlotte Flair is out indefinitely, but why? I think we know, but we'll talk about that anyway. And this first one, I'm going to talk about Roman Reigns going part-time? What in the hell is that about? So, Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, big shout out, no copyrights. You guys know how this works with the algorithm, of course. And speaking of algorithms, if you guys want to see more WWE news videos in the future, which get posted every Thursday typically, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and as always, turn on that notification bell so you guys don't miss out. And as always, make sure you guys follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. The links will be in the description, as will the info to my fan mail, which will also be in the description as well. And also, if you guys hear music in the background, I've got Mifa's theme from Age of Calamity. No copyrights as well for that. You guys know how it works with the algorithm. You guys already know why. Anyway, as I was saying, let's get straight into it. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, no copyrights of course, reported that the Undisputed Universal Champion has been pulled from advertising for all house shows and TV tapings between the 19th of June and Labor Day, which will be September 5th. Which would mean that he would be taking the whole summer off. However, his status for Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, and Clash at the Castle are pretty much up in the air. But apparently Roman is still advertised for those shows, supposedly. Obviously things can change, so we don't really know. As an update, if you will, Matt Menz, Andrew Zarian, big shout out, of course, no copyrights. Excuse me. Tweeted that he was informed by someone within WWE that Roman Reigns won't be taking an extended break. Instead he'll only be missing house shows in smaller markets. Hence why he told the crowd in Trenton, New Jersey, that he didn't know if he would be back to the city in a promo this past weekend. So I guess now we know why. I guess it's because he's going to be doing less shows. And Zarian also reported that Roman will still be on WWE TV and premium live events. So I'm assuming that he's just basically going to continue what he's doing, but not do any house shows, basically. However, in another update, Roman signed a new deal with WWE, which entitles him to work a more relaxed schedule with fewer house show dates. Which, honestly, it's pretty cool, but it also ties into the question, you know, what's his status for Hell in a Cell? So Dave Meltzer had reported about this on his show, and he said, quote, and he said, quote, basically Roman Reigns is not going to be on every pay-per-view. He's off the Chicago show, which is the next pay-per-view on June 5th, meaning Hell in a Cell. He will be doing pay-per-views this summer, even though he was removed from all advertising from June 24th. It was like a little dash. Yeah, June 24th in Austin. He's been removed from all advertising from house shows, TVs, except for the 2 stadium shows. But he will do TV shows to build up those shows. So it's not like he's gonna be on TV, but he's not gonna be doing a lot of dates. And from what I understand, the show he's gonna be on sooner or later, they'll start advertising him. So the dates will be known. It's not like they're gonna put him on TV without advertising him, but that's the basic situation. I think he's gonna be on more shows than Lesnar, but not appreciably more. So, it's interesting because Roman Reigns is now on the same level as The Rock and John Cena, where he's basically a part-timer now, which is I really don't know how I feel about it, because I'm pretty sure that by doing this, it can only mean one thing. Ratings for both Raw and SmackDown will go to an all-time low, and it'll get to a point. It'll get to a point where WWE will have no choice but to make another champion on both shows the next big thing. The next Roman Reigns. Like potentially. Potentially, Theory, or perhaps Ricochet, or maybe even Ronda Rousey. Actually, Ronda Rousey is already on that level anyway, but still, it's pretty possible. But even at his age, Roman still has. It's likely that even at his age, Roman does have several years left. As far as like performing on the top of any card, but as far as like what he could do outside of WWE, obviously there's a lot that he can do, but we don't really know. But I'm pretty sure that this means we might not see Roman defend his title at Hell in a Cell, which is a possibility, but only time will tell. But you know what? But honestly, given how long he's been champion, he's been the Universal Champion. I gotta hand it to them. I guess they're making the right decision, but only time will tell. We don't really know exactly, but we will find out indeed. Now for Charlotte Flair. What is the condition of Charlotte Flair? Well, we found out this past week, this past Sunday at WrestleMania Backlash, that Charlotte Flair has a fracture of the radius, which is basically one of the 2 bones between between the wrist and the elbow, and she fractured it at the hand, and it was fractured at the hands of Ronda Rousey. And it was announced on the bump that she will be out of action indefinitely following the matchup. But not only that, but we also found out that supposedly Charlotte Flair will also be using that time off to get married. If you guys do not know, she's currently engaged to Andrade, to former WWE superstar Andrade. I think he goes by the name Andrade El Idolo. somewhere, I don't know where, but that's his, that's what he goes by. But I mean, as far as her getting married, a massive congrats is definitely in order. A massive congrats is definitely in order. But as far as the injury, wishing her a speedy recovery. You know, I think honestly, the way I see it, I think they should have booked it as Ronda Rousey winning the title at WrestleMania, and then at Backlash, you know, defend it against, you know, a former SmackDown Women's Champion like Bayley or something. I don't know, but speaking of Bayley, we have yet to find out if she'll ever come back. I don't really think she will, but we will see. But not much else to say about this one, except congrats to Charlotte Flair on getting married, and we are wishing her a very, very speedy recovery. Now the question is, what championship does Drew McIntyre want to bring back and win? It is none other than the WWE European Title. It's a championship that was around. That was around from 97 to 2002, if I remember correctly. I'm gonna look online for a second. I have so many tabs on this fucking thing. Well, while it's really fucking cut me off, really. Anyway, while this is going, I do want to talk to you guys about that title, about the European title. It's a title that was released, that took place right around like the late 90s. I don't remember exactly when. But I want to say it was around... Oh, here we go. Here we are. Let's see. Here we are. Europe. Yeah, I was right. 1997 to 2002. And it's interesting because I think one of the longest run for a European title, I don't remember when, but I know that it was retired in 2002 in a ladder match, in a ladder title unification match. And I think the longest run from 97 to 99, right around there, was 205 days. That was the longest run. That was actually held by the first ever champion, which was the British Bulldog. Was none other than the British Bulldog, and should be told Triple H, I believe, is the only two, let's see, Triple H, D'Lo Brown, X-Pac. Actually, I think D'Lo Brown is the 4-time champ. Yeah, D'Lo Brown, I think, is the only one. Let's see. Yeah, so D'Lo Brown and William Regal are the only two who have held the European title on 4 separate occasions. And I think the longest run for the run of the 2000s was 122 days, which was held by Matt Hardy, of all people, in 2001, of all people. So honestly, So the last champion was actually Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy was the last champion, and he ended up. I think he lost it in a title unification match with against RVD, if I remember correctly. But yeah, so it came around on February 26, 1997, and it retired on July 21st, 2002. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And supposedly, Drew McIntyre wants to bring it back. And he was on, and he spoke to Alex McCarthy of TalkSport, big shout out, no copyrights. He said, quote, "Yes, I just want it because when I was a kid and I saw it, I was like, oh man, I want to be European champion, and now I can't because it doesn't exist right now. I don't like too many titles, and there are a lot right now, but I just wanted it when I was a kid. So just bring it back, let me win it, and I'll retire it. You never want too many titles in the company because then it's not as special. I think where we're at right now is good, but give old Drew the European title for young Drew." He also talked about his about a potential match with Tyson Fury, claiming that he has an obsession with Drew and that he finds it weird, so to speak. So, could we see the European title back? No, there's no way in hell that the title could come back for a couple reasons. One, as Drew pointed out, we already have too many championships in WWE. Currently, right now, we have the WWE title. On Raw, we have the WWE title, the Raw Tag Team titles, the Raw Women's title, the 24/7 title, and we also have the United States title. On SmackDown, we have the Universal title, the SmackDown Tag titles, the SmackDown Women's title, the Intercontinental title, and the Women's Tag Team titles. Over on NXT, we've got the NXT title, the NXT Women's title, the Tag Team titles, the Women's Tag Team titles, and the North American title. And on NXT UK, we've got the NXT UK title, the Women's title, the Tag titles, and the Heritage Cup. That is a total of what? 15? That's 19 championships altogether. 19 titles altogether. Yeah, 19. Which is a lot. That is a lot of gold. And for WWE to bring back another one, making it 20, that would just be stupid, because it would not make it it would not be as special as people thought it was. Because back around, back when the European title was around, yeah, we had that title, we had the IC title, the tag titles, the women's title, and the WWE title. Plus, we had the light heavyweight title and the hardcore title. That was what, 7 titles in WWE. And then by the time the whole WCW ECW Alliance Invasion started, we had the WCW title, their tag titles, the Cruiserweight title, their United States title, and I believe also their women's title was also around as well. So, but now it's gotten to a point where it's mind-blowing of how many titles we have in WWE right now, which is just absurd. But if we did see it, obviously Drew would hold it for a little while, defended it, throughout the whole year, and just retire it all in all, once and for all. I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it, but I really don't see it happening anytime soon. But now we gotta ask ourselves, who could join the Judgment Day? That is the name of Edge's new faction. I never thought we would ever see Edge host a faction that wasn't La Familia. Oh, you guys don't know La Familia? Oh, wow. You guys don't know about that? Well, allow me to explain. So, in 2008, right around 2007, 2008, so let me rephrase. At WrestleMania 23 in Detroit in 2007, Mr. Kennedy, won Money in the Bank. Held it for a few weeks. Edge was like, you know what? Why don't you put that briefcase up against me, and I'll beat you for it. Kennedy said that's fine by me, and he ended up losing it to Edge. And then several days later, after a hellacious steel cage match between Batista and The Undertaker, Mark Henry came out, attacked the Undertaker. Edge came out, cashed in Money in the Bank. He's now the world champion. He starts to be in a relationship with Vicky Guerrero, and he forces Teddy Long to become Vicky's wheelchair pusher, so to speak. Brings in Chavo, brings in the Major Brothers, or I guess Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder, to SmackDown. Brings in Bam Neely, who ended up becoming Chavo's hired gun, so to speak. Thus, La Familia came around. They ended up they almost took all the gold, and that was the only faction that Edge led in WWE. Obviously, he was a part of the Brood, with Christian and Gangrel, but he was also part of another faction when he debuted in WWE back in the late 90s, and that was the Ministry of Darkness, which featured so many superstars: Mideon, Shane McMahon, Triple H, the APA, or I guess back then they were known as the Acolytes. Funny enough, who else can I think of? Viscera, so many others. It was pretty crazy. It was a pretty crazy faction, and they dominated WWE with an iron fist. And now Edge has his own faction known as the Judgment Day, which consists of himself, Damian Priest, the former United States Champion, and of course Rhea Ripley, the former Raw Women's Champion and former Tag Team Champion as well. Rhea ended up being added to the ranks of the Judgment Day at Backlash when she helped Edge defeat AJ Styles, thus pledging her loyalty to him. And it's now become a trio. But apparently Edge wants to add more people, because Edge mentioned on Raw that he wasn't done recruiting members. And apparently it was not an accident, as PW Insider, no copyrights, he doesn't know how this works with the algorithm, is noting that there have been internal discussions of adding a fourth member to the Judgment Day. That one is Tommaso Ciampa. Apparently there's been rumors, apparently there's been reports going around saying that Ciampa wants to be added to the ranks, and WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley had spoken highly of the group, believing that it could be quote, a faction for the ages, which is a possibility, but we don't really know exactly what Edge will have in store. I know that I would love to see Joe Gacy in the Judgment Day, because that would prove extremely well for the Judgment Day to be able to have not just one but four. Think about that, four former NXT superstars as part of Edge's group, the Judgment Day. That'd be crazy, But it would be so good because Edge would be able to teach them more about the business than they know, if that makes sense. But that's just my opinion. But that brings me to the question of the day, and this is going to be probably the weirdest question I've ever asked. Probably not the weirdest question, but probably the most unique question I've ever asked. And this is going to be a two-part question. The first part is, who do you want to see join the Judgment Day? And also, who should challenge Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Universal title? Let me know down in the comments below. And that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash the thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want to see more WWE news videos, can't speak, which typically get posted every Thursday, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys do not miss out on any new content that comes your way. And as always, make sure you guys follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. All the links will be down in the description below. And if you guys have any fan mail that you guys want to send me and you guys want me to open it up on the channel, all the info will be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.